The 2012 Bransby Christian Leadership Award, honoring Charlie Yates Jr.
Charlie Yates is one of those special people that make Atlanta the extraordinary city that it is.
He's my big brother, has been for 60 years now, and I consider myself incredibly lucky that he has been that. When I think about Charles's talents, I immediately think of Christmas morning, and his big present every year would always be these pieces of iron that were kind of wrapped together in what seemed like an impossible mesh of metal. He would sit in his chair and grab these two pieces of metal, and about the time it was time for lunch, he would somehow have solved the problem of removing these two things from each other and walk into the dining room holding them separately, and just seemed like an impossible task. But he was so focused, so detail-oriented, that he could solve things that nobody else could solve in our family.
Charlie has chaired the board just as his dad did back in the 50s. Charlie learned at the foot of a great man in terms of his father. Little Charlie, or Charlie III as they call him, is learning at the foot of a great father as well. It's a legacy of leadership.
He's connecting us to so many partners in so many places that unleashes the Y's potential. Charlie never thought about the Y as the swim and gym. He thought about the Y in a much bigger way. The Y has some institutional skills and places that we can go to help meet unmet needs. And he sees a correlation between one nonprofit to another and how they can leverage their skills and their resources to have greater impact.
Charles really understands what it means to be a steward. If he's going to commit his time, particularly in large part toward children, he understands the responsibility. It may be a volunteer, but he is signed up to make a difference in children's lives.
He can really get people lined up around a mission. That ability to kind of galvanize and bring people together toward a common cause, I think, is a God-given gift of his.
When someone like Charlie steps forward, it's a statement that says it's the right thing to do to care about this community, to be deeply engaged, to give it everything you've got, and to treat this nonprofit board, this fundraising committee, as though it were as important as your job. And that's the message Charlie always brings.
It's easy to sell things that you're passionate about. As a result, the funding that he's been able to help raise on behalf of the Y, his ability to represent the Y well is extraordinary.
The Y is a critical institution in our city that stitches together the fabric that really makes us a great place. What I find is that all the volunteers, my brother included, are committed to this place where all Atlanta's children across our region, have a chance to be everything that they were intended to be.
And the reason he deserves this Bransby Leadership Award is because he emulates exactly what Joe Bransby expects and hopes for out of people. To give their best, to be their best, and to make sure that he is a big part of taking care of humankind. And Charlie's heart is so big and so generous. The Yates family is so big and so generous. That Charlie simply personifies Joe Bransby in his way of life.
I suspect that for Charlie, all of his life, he has known that public service done for those spiritual Christian motivations was his future. It's how his father lived his life. It's how his mother lived her life. And so Charlie comes out of a culture that says, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Charles, I'm really proud for you that you're receiving this award. I can't say that I'm surprised by it. I've watched in action all my life, admired so much who you are and what you stand for and what you do. And of course, I'd be remiss if I also didn't say that I know our dad would be incredibly proud of you, as he always was.
Charlie, I am so happy and so excited that you're our recipient this year of the Bransby Christian Leadership Award. I couldn't think of a more appropriate way to honor you and your service to the Y. You've been a great mentor to me personally and a great friend. I'm going to always be indebted to you. I just appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much and congratulations.